final countdown.
I'd like you to join me in giving a huge round of applause for none other than our elected mayor, Baroness Dorothy Thornhill. And
I bet there are people sitting here today that didn't know that we had our own Watford Band. Ladies and gentlemen, young people of Watford, today is an historic occasion. In the future, we'll be putting into the next book of Watford, the 21st century book of Watford, laying down a part of our social history, things that we did. And the opening of the new bandstand, the returning it here, is one of those such occasions, and you have turned out in force, and again I thank you for that. I'd like to say a little bit about why this happened and why it's important. To me, one thing you have always told me since becoming mayor is that top of the things that you value in our town are our parks and open spaces, are precious. So as you'll be aware, we set about a very wide-ranging programme of improving all our parks and open spaces, and indeed all our public spaces, places where people gather, places where things happen, places where community gets together in all its wonderful shapes and forms as we have in Watford. But as you know, as your mayor, the thing that I like best is if somebody else is paying the bill. So to those of you who get your lottery tickets and take part in that, thank you, because the funding has come from the Heritage Lottery Fund and from the Big Lottery. Please feel that Watford has won something by the money that is coming back into our community. And I've used that word community quite a bit, because to me it is about the things that we do together, the things that affirm who we are, and we are Watford. So thank you for sharing this historic occasion and for turning out today. And I'd like to hand over to Paul, because he's going to tell you a little bit more about what can happen. I'd like to thank you for making it happen, because even filling in the forms for the Heritage Lottery bid and the whole process is quite daunting, but you stuck with it because you knew that there was a job to be done, and I'm delighted that you've done it, and thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, Baroness Dorothy Thornhill, and we're handing you over to none other than Paul Rabbits, Head of Parks and Open Spaces for Watford Borough Council.
Joseph.
Brilliant, thank you very much. I can't actually stop smiling. Isn't it beautiful? Do we like it? Do we think it looks better than what it was before? It does, doesn't it? I actually think, like I say, I'm a bit of a geek. I've also been called one of Britain's dullest men because of my obsession with the bandstand. And I must admit, when I first looked at this bandstand 5-6 years ago, when it was sat very lonely, very sad, not used very often outside the town hall, I wasn't particularly impressed with it. I didn't think it was a particularly exciting bandstand. Thanks to the National Lottery, the Heritage Lottery Fund and Big Lottery, who gave us just under £5 million, in fact I think it's £1 under £5 million, put towards the restoration of this wonderful park, we were able to put this bandstand back into the park. And I actually think now it looks stunning. Do we like the colours? Again, the colours, one of the questions I've often been asked is, why have we chosen these colours? These colours relate to the Capel family tree. And for those who don't know the history of Watford, or the history of Canterbury, the Earls of Essex and the great Capel family and the coat of arms that they had various colours in it. Again, what we decided was, rather than the nasty black and the silly little bits of gold that were on there, let's actually relate back to the history of the Capel family. So we now have the colours of the Capel family tree. So again, lots of questions. Why is it that colour? Now you know. When did this first bandstand appear in the park? 1912. It's one of the oldest bandstands that we've got in the country. This is one of 3 bandstands of this particular model. 1912. The other 2 are in Wales. Bless them. We have the best one, of course. What you can see on the top as well is a number of shields that haven't been filled in yet. We're actually going to put some coats of arms on there. So the old Capel coat of arms, the old Watford coat of arms is going on there, and the Rocher Club. There's a number of coat of arms that are actually going on there. So again, you will see some further additions onto that. How is this bandstand going to be used? If you look at the number of bandstands there are around the country now, and the number of bandstands that have been restored, 120 bandstands restored by the National Lottery. Should we give a big cheer for the National Lottery? Or a big thank you for the National Lottery. Excellent. If it hadn't been for the Heritage Lottery Funds and the big lottery, many of our parks would have continued to decline. It's thanks to the lottery, £800 million has been invested in public parks up and down the country. 120 bandstands, absolutely stunning. The other question I often get asked is, how will it be used? Next year we will have a programme of events on here. And people say, well, what kind of events? Is it going to be just brass bands? No. It will be brass bands, but there will be wind bands, there'll be jazz bands, we might even get the odd rock band. Okay, we're gonna do the cutting of the ribbon.
We're gonna start from 10. Are you ready? 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is now open. Can we have a huge round of applause once again for the Watford Band?
It's a brass band, and you're sitting on grass. So I like him. He'll do well.
You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, be between. Night and free, the man was waiting there for me. But when I looked around the hall, I couldn't see him there at all. Go away, don't you come back anymore.
What I desire is meant red fine to make my dream come true. Oh, give me the fire, man, God, just clue me what to do. Give me the power, man, red fine, so I can be like you. The show is night and dark, and late is light. I got you on my mind, go play it every night. I got to get some hope, prove that it's wrong, because you're